So why do I think peace in Israel will not last? Well, in the short term, I do think it will last, and I'm super happy for that. I am very anti-war. I think that we can negotiate with agreements and money and those types of things a lot better than with bullets and bombs and death. I'm always on the side of life, not death. But the reason why I think that it's not going to last is because of what I've heard from both Israelis and Palestinians. And what do I mean by that? Is that they feel that they deserve this land, that that's theirs, that they have some sort of ownership to it. And the reasons could be deeply rooted, the reasons could be completely arbitrary. It doesn't matter. If I have a belief that I'm owed something, that I deserve something, as soon as I have the ability to get that thing back and my belief system says that I should get that thing back, I'm going to start taking it away. And this is why I look at it and I go, I don't know why we have such a big hubbub about it in the first place. Think about how most nations were built. They were built by stealing each other's land. Why am I in this area? I live in Orange County. Why am I able to be here? Before here, there was the natives. Before that, there was, they called themselves Californians, right? And they were kind of like Mexicans. And there were Spanish settlers. There's all these different sorts of people. And who took over? Either whoever was willing to make a deal to say, hey, I'm going to take this land, Louisiana Purchase, right? I'm going to pay you for this land. You're going to take this land. You guys are going to move over here or whatever it might be. Or I'm just going to take it with a gun. We got guns. You guys got bow and arrows. Tough luck. Whoever has the power or whoever's willing to negotiate to get what they want will end up getting it. But if there were someone that had a deep-seated, rooted feeling that this plot of land that I'm standing on, right, is owed to them, whenever they were able to get power, maybe that's 5 years, maybe that's 100 years, maybe that's 1,000 years. If that was passed down from generation to generation, at some point, someone is going to want to take that land back. And I look at things and I go, look, at the end of the day, all land can be negotiated, all land can be taken. No one's owed anything. But I hear from those people in that region, I've seen this, and maybe this is just my bias coming from the media, but I've heard them say that that's our land, that we're owed that. We deserve that. We deserve our land. I look at that and I go, you don't get what you deserve in life. You really don't. Some people you get what you get. Some people get in life through working. They get money through working. Some people get it by stealing other people's hard-earned cash. Other people do it by begging. You get what you get. All three of those people, those different people, they get something. Do they necessarily get what they deserve? No. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but you get what you get. And what I'm saying with this whole thing is if you want the land, go get it. What I think is right now there's going to be a peace deal. And I'm super happy for that. But if the idea is I deserve that, at some point, I'm going to get what I want. I'm going to go get it by any means necessary, if that's my belief system. Now, I think that you should be able to, any region should be able to have Jews, Muslims, Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, anyone. I don't understand the whole idea behind that. I get when it comes down to rules, regulations, laws, money, property, those types of things, I get that. But when it comes down to the idea that I am owed something or I deserve something, I don't understand that at all. I felt like we've moved past that, but we haven't. People still think that their way is better, that they are deserving of certain things over other people. That's where I come into it. I go, look, the only people who are deserving of something, really, are the people who actually go and get it. If I have a gun and you have a knife and I want what you have, I can take it from you. That's just the facts. I don't agree with that. I don't think that we should take things from people. I think that we should figure out a way to have peace, trade with each other, and accept each other, again, within the bounds of what's feasible for each country in the world. I don't think we're ready for a one world, open borders government type thing. I don't think we're ready for that yet. But eventually, that's what my beliefs believe me to be held. I think that everyone should be able to live everywhere. And it's kind of, I'm a hippie, but I don't think that we're ready for that financially and just with our laws and with our customs and things like that. We still have a ways to go. So if that's being said, if I think that my way of doing things is better than your way, and I have the means to make sure that that goes through, I'm going to win. If I have more military prowess, and I truly believe that my way is better, you've seen this with the United States and all these stupid proxy wars. Our way of doing things is better, their ways is not. We're going to go in and save them from themselves. Whether you're justified, if you're lying to your people, it doesn't matter. If you have the ability, you can go and do that. I bet you at one point in London, England, there were no Muslims there. There were zero. There was probably all different sorts of like Christians and Catholics and things like that at one point, right? Well, now there is a growing contingent of Muslims. And some of those want something called Sharia law. They want their law, the way that their religion, goes about their law, to take precedent over the London's and England's laws that they have in that city. Now, I sit there and I go, wait, who has the right to the land? Do the Londoners have the right to the land? Remember, what is my belief? No one really has a right to anything. The only people that really get it are the people who are going to have enough force, enough negotiation power. They have enough energy to put behind it. If the Muslims in London start to grow more, they start to have more kids, if they start having more of an attitude of taking, hey, we're going to take this land, we're going to take this part, we're going to take over this governmental structure, they're going to take over London. Simple as that. Just like the settlers came in and in America, and they came in and took over from the natives, or they took over from the Californians or the Spanish or the Mexicans or whatever it is, the same thing will happen. It's just whoever's willing to take, or whoever's willing to make a deal, or whoever's willing to impose their will. And I say we should all get along. That's what I say. I say that we should, okay, you want Sharia law? Okay, you want these laws? Let's figure out a way to work together. If I say it's my way or the highway and I don't want to negotiate, okay, well, who's got more guns? Who's got more energy? Who's got more people? At the end of the day, that's how things work. If you're not willing to come to the table and negotiate, you will have problems and you will have fight. And that's what I see with this Israel and Palestine thing. I think that because there is this deep-seated ownership feeling that they for whatever reason, and again, I don't know exactly all the reasons why, but again, they could be arbitrary reasons. If I feel deeply about them, if I feel really strongly that I am owed, I'm going to at some point find a way to get what I feel is owed to me. And again, I don't think that anyone's owed anything, okay? And so at the end of the day, you have to get what you get. You get what you get. How are you going to get that, right? You got to work for it. You can steal for it. You can beg for it. You can do many different ways of getting it, but you're going to get what you get. And if I truly believe that that's mine, well, whenever I feel like what I'm doing is not working, okay, we can't use the laws to force them out of the land. Okay, not good. I can't use breeding to get them out. We're not having enough babies. All right, they're having more babies than us. Okay, they're beating us there. All right, we've got a bigger military. All right, let's just take them out. At some point, this is what ends up eventually happening, and we've seen this over and over again. And I don't think it should come to that, but that's just where we have taken this to, because we're just not willing to again cooperate with one another because we feel that we're owed this, right? If I feel like I'm owed something and this is mine and I don't feel like it's yours because you're different than me and we can't come to the table and share, well then at some point I'm going to want to find a solution. And that solution, a lot of people have said, is not a two-state solution. And that's why I think these problems will continue to be had, is because if it's a continuous one-state solution where everyone can hang out and everyone can be free to do what they want to do, then that's a one-state solution that is a good, positive. But that's not the one-state solution I think they're talking about. I think they're talking about one state as in either more Muslim rule or more Jewish rule. That's what I think. And that's what I kind of hear. And it's a us versus them type mentality. And as long as that still is there about that land, until someone finally says, you're out, all right, and you ain't coming back, and we're going to force you out, just like many other nations have done, and people have just said, you know what, that's it, we're going to move on, we're going to do something else, or we're going to spread out and we're going to go into these areas and we're going to have our culture or whatever. And I know a lot of people say, well, that's not what should happen. All right, I get you, right? But look at history. History isn't fair. History isn't you get what you deserve, okay? Think about all the slaves that were sold and shipped across, thousands of miles of the Atlantic to come to another place. It's like, it's not fair, but this is where they are now. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to go back to Africa? Okay. It's like, it ain't happening. So how do you make do with a bad situation? Do you make it worse? Do you go in and say, no, I'm owed this, give me back what I'm owed? That ain't going to work, because then you're going to have animosity towards the people that live there today. They're going, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything. You're talking about things that happened thousands of years ago. Then you create more animosity. So as much as I'm super happy for the fact that we have peace, I just don't feel like it's going to last until we evolve as a species and understand that we're going to have to share everything. And right now we don't know how to do that well. We're not very good at that. We're not very understanding of one another. If you're different, you're dangerous, which is another reason why I'm going to make another video about racism, why I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon, unless if we start to have consciousness changes and really start to look at things in a bigger way. And I think over time, as we get more and more wealthy and the problems of everyday stuff of, fighting for money and for food and for things like that, when those things start to go away, that's when it'll be a lot easier. But even then, I think that we're still going to find ways. So right now, at our stage of development, I just don't think that we're ready for these things. And that's why I feel that it will come back again. These problems will come back again. I hope not. I hope not anytime soon. And I hope that in the interim, we can start to come up with better ways of sharing and coming together so that we don't have to resort to bombs, bullets, and death. That's not what I think is a good solution. At the end of the day, I feel like we can make better solutions through talking about things and negotiating. So anyways, that's why I don't think that this thing will last. I hope it lasts for many, many years, but I think if that deep-seated, deserving ownership mentality is still there, then you're going to get some, if not, you're going to get a full-out war, you're going to get some weird behaviors that end up creating the same problems that this whole thing was, the whole reason why this whole thing popped off in the first place. So anyways, that's it for today. Until next time, I'll see you then.